we've had a lot of guys here for like the last month, so I think guys are definitely ready for it to be an official practice.
How different has that been, having all that stuff before the season, before training camp started, compared to years past?
It's definitely great. I mean, this is definitely the most amount of guys that we've had, and obviously the guys that weren't here were guys that were playing in the Euro Cup and stuff. So it's definitely great. I think everybody's buying in, and everybody's, like I said, everybody's going to be able to go already. If your first time together is training camp, you're already behind.
Just want to get your thoughts, when we were talking about the end of last season and how they have reconstructed this team, reconstructed this roster. Do you think, they're heading in that way as far as building around you and Dumont?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of athleticism. We have a lot of guys that can shoot the ball, and I think that's something that's going to be big for us this year. And obviously, defensively, Mike he's already on us. Even while playing pickup, he's walking upstairs, he'll beat on the window or something. So I think the coach is just as excited.
De'Aaron, I know that Mike Brown called you a dog defensively when you were in high school. I mean, do you think he's really taught you a lot? I mean, in your short time working together, I know.
Yeah, definitely. Ask him how pickup's going.
Oh.
I mean, you got some game-winning stops. I mean, everybody's been here, all the guards, TD, Davion. Just ask them how I've been.
How excited are you to have him leak back? I mean, playing together, I know you guys were a dynamic duo at Kentucky.
It's great, man. We pretty much talk every day, along with like Dan and so just being able to be with him every day now is definitely, it's definitely a great thing. Aside from his talent, what he does on the court, just being around him and knowing his family, his brother, his mom, they're just great people to be around.
Even though it's been a while since you guys played together at Kentucky, is it like riding a bike? You guys pick up right where you left off?
Yeah, we like some of the pickup games that we've been on teams, like we're throwing passes to each other that nobody else on the team will probably throw. Just knowing that one another will go get it, or even if it's a bad pass, like we trust that each other will get it there. So it's just great that we've been able to share the floor together again.
How much better is he from what you remember being on the floor?
He's a lot better. I mean, I think decision making was one big thing for him. And one day he was fucking up. Like, he got like 12 turnovers this week. But no, it's definitely decision making. I think he's a lot better passer than he had been in the past. I mean that was 5-6 years ago. So he's a much better player than that.
You had this whole month to lead up to camp. But do you feel like there's some things you guys aren't expecting when things get underway on Tuesday?
I think more drills, more defensive oriented stuff. Obviously, a lot pickup. It's kind of not organized, and things like that. So, just knowing how much attention to detail, I think, will definitely be different from playing pickup.
What would you say the biggest step from last year's team to this year's team is?
I think just together as a unit. I would say athleticism-wise, defensively-wise, and then bringing in more shooters for sure.
What do you want to get accomplished during this training camp?
I mean, just laying the foundation, laying the groundwork. We've been together already, so we kind of know, some of the little things to expect. But just being, obviously the first preseason game is in a week, and obviously most of the time you're like, no one's really ready to play necessarily for that first preseason game. But we've had a lot of guys together already this summer, so I feel like just seeing how we hit, the first preseason game and the first game of the regular season, something I'm looking forward to.
Did you watch much of Euro Cup or anything like that? Did you do?
I didn't watch a lot of it, really because of time and things like that. But we did watch the Spain and Lithuania game because Davis is Lithuanian and Jordy's Spaniards. So they forced us to watch that game. Like they had it on a laptop while the UT and Alabama game was on. So.
I ask that because do you see some of your teammates when you watch that, they're going to play different roles over there than they do here, but does that help you in any way get to know some of those guys a little bit better?
Like as far as watching them play, Domas does a lot of the same stuff. So, yeah, he's still a post playmaker and things like that. So, but Alex, I think had a few good games while he was playing. Mimi plays well. He's unfortunate, so it's cool.
De'Aaron, I know this was a big offseason for you. You got married. I mean, how crazy have the last few months been for you?
I wouldn't necessarily say crazy. It's kind of something that we're pretty much already accustomed to, but definitely like going overseas and like it was my first time like working out in a gym, kind of like that overseas. But it was cool. It was cool having Luke there and having Zach there with us. and that was kind of a big reason why we actually wanted to come back early. We feel like we had a great summer, and we kind of didn't want to, miss two or 3 weeks of it. So that was a big reason that we came back early.
I mean, does that really just speak to the guys just buying in and just the culture that Mike has really built?
Yeah, definitely. The fact that we've had so many guys back inside, like I said, I've been here for a month. We had guys here before even I was here. So, like I said, guys are ready to go. Guys are ready to basically play for each other and, learn the system and go out there and win games.
That wedding guest list of yours was pretty elite, but you had a lot of teammates and coaches and members of this organization that were there supporting you as well. What did that mean for you personally to get that kind of support?
It was big. I mean, obviously we're a franchising organization, but you're around people a lot, so you get to know each other and you turn into a family. And that was great for us. Even having Vivek there and Angela, it was great. It was great for us.
Are there things that you experienced in your first couple years in the league that you didn't really expect, that maybe you talked to somebody like Keegan about in terms of getting acclimated to life in the NBA?
Not really. And it's funny because for him, like, he's already someone who's very mindful, and he already does things with his mental. So that's a good thing. But I think the biggest thing is just taking care of your body. You travel so much. It's not like college where you're playing 2 games in a week. At the end of the season, if you won the championship, you play 40 games. But you hit 40 here, you're halfway through the season. And you definitely played back-to-backs, you've flown across the country, you've gone to Canada, like you've done a whole bunch of stuff that you don't do in college. So it's really just a recovery. You take care of your body.
What are your first impressions of him? And I know other guys are talking about his maturity. Does anything like this stand out to you about him?
Yeah, man, it's actually crazy how mature he is. We're coming in playing pickup, and like he's not obviously the loudest guy, but you look up there and then his team has 7, he has all 7. Like they just kind of go off in spurts, and it happens very quickly.
Have you answered any of your own questions that you might have had coming into this thing?
About myself or about
just
like, the team?
yeah, maybe even yourself, or just how this whole thing becomes a successful product at the end of the day.
I mean, it's something that I'm still getting used to. But like once we hired all the new guys, the communication has been like top notch. Everybody knows exactly what they have going on for the next week. So it's something that's been different. With kind of just how much attention to detail, like how much time you're going to be in there, how much time you're going to be out here. Let them know before 5 or 6 o'clock everybody know what's going to happen tomorrow. So no one's ever really surprised by what's going on.
And with respect to previous Kings teams, I think it's easy for us to say this is probably the most talent you've had surrounding you. Do you kind of agree with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. And we have a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things. And then like for me, it's being with Duke. He's taught me how to play without the ball. So we've done a lot of. It's been a great summer, I would say.
I don't know if you agree, but it feels like there's been a lot of critics or people kind of writing you off throughout the course of this offseason, and I wonder if you do agree with that, and if it makes you come this year with a chip on your shoulder.
Oh, I mean, I'm 24. I would still be considered a young guy in every fashion, in every way of life. But obviously, I've been doing this for going on 6 years, so it seems like I'm older or whatever it is. But if you can't get better at 24 years old to however long you're going to play, then there's a problem.
Thanks, man. Missing Whataburger at all?
No.
Sandwich? Yeah, it's not about the burger, right? It's chicken.
Yeah, no. You get a burger, you're disgusting human being. That's disgusting. You go to Whataburger and get like a number 1. That's terrible.
Number 2 cheeseburgers, mustard.
No, that's not good. If it's a burger, it's not good.
I don't know. Yes.